Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here's a quick run through Word. It's not, that's a lie. It's not going to be quick. It's going to be long and terrible. But anyway, here we go. Word Creative Flyer Project 1. We're going to get started with Microsoft Word, creating and editing a Word document. We're going to create a flyer. Alright, let's see what we're doing here. Day 1, we're going to create a flyer. Whenever you see red text, that means take notes. Ask Mr. Miller if you're going to do this as partners or as individuals. Green text means you need to do something. Black text means you need to read it and learn. Alright, what is Word? Take notes on this. Word is a word processing application that allows you to make flyers, it allows you to make resumes, it allows you to make MLA reports that we're going to use for the senior project. Alright, here's what the things we need to take a look at. Go into your folder and we're going to take a look at these things. Let me find them here. I'm not prepared. Let's take a look here. Hold on. Be patient. While you're waiting, you can take those notes, that note on what Word is. Oh, here we go. Alright, we'll start with this thing here. Take a look at this. You can open this. This is the creative flyer. Take a look at this thing right here. Alright, so here's what you guys are going to do. You're gonna do all this stuff. So open this stuff and read it, but it gives you the instructions. You're going to make an attractive flyer, okay? And you have to do all these things. Create a flyer in Word that invites friends and neighbors to a party. Come up with a creative reason for the party. This one was, the creative reason was it was a costume ball. You come up with an appropriate reason why. Alright, and here's all the questions you have to answer. Yeah, you have to stick all this information on your flyer somewhere. And again, all the information must be appropriate. Read through this. You can open up your own. Change the font. We're going to change the font. We're going to change the font size. And we're going to do all these things. I'm going to show you to do this in this flyer. Alright, so we're going to make an attractive flyer. So open this thing up out of your assignments folder and take a look. Alright. Alright, let me show you a bad version and a good version. Here is an unattractive bad version. Alright, it's not bad, it's just not done yet. So look, there's way too much text right here. People aren't, you look at it and there's so much text on there you don't even want to look at it, you look away. There's some pictures, but they're not terribly attractive. Okay, so this is a start, but it's not good enough. Alright, let's take a look at one that's good enough. Where's a good one? Oh, there it is. Okay, let's take a look at one that's good enough. So this one will be good. Okay, so there's big text at the top, it's offset, the picture's attractive, the colors draw you in, and there's a lot less text. And instead of saying, oh man, I don't even want to read it, it's like, oh, okay, let's see what this is all about. Alright, so here's a good attractive version. Okay, so that's what we're shooting for. Okay, now what I want you guys to do is save a Word doc in a Word folder. Alright, so make a folder in your tech folder called Word, and I want you to open up a Word document. I want you to save it in there as the creative flyer, and then I want you to start typing out some ideas for your flyer. So start doing a rough draft that answers all those questions and does all those things. Okay, we won't do all the formatting yet. Just get some words on the paper and then get some images. Okay, so stop and do that, and then once you get that done, we're going to go on to the next part. Okay. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Add 3 different fonts. Alright, check this out. This is a serif font. Look, notice it has, like, see the little curly cues right there? Alright, see this? This is a sans serif font. There's no curly cues. It's more plain. Believe it or not, we learned this earlier anyway, but the serif, the curls actually make it easier to read when the text is smaller, and the sans serif, the plain stuff, is harder to read when it's small. So you're going to use both kinds. You're going to use serif and sans serif, and when things are big, it's probably a good idea to use the sans serif because it makes it easier to read. When it's little stuff, you're going to probably use a serif style font. Alright, so I want you to change the font, and I'm going to show you how. So if we're going to go to this thing, if you're going to change it, let's make it bigger so you can see it. So if you're going to change the font, you guys probably already know, but for those who don't know how, if you're going to change the font, you select this thing right here, and you go right here, and you go to whatever you want. Okay, change the font there, and then come over here, you select the text you want, and you can change this, and you can also change the size. Okay, so we can make it smaller or larger, whatever you want to do. Alright, so go ahead and do that. Alright, and make it attractive. Alright, aligning text. Some text must be aligned to the left, some text must be aligned to the center, and some to the right. So let's take a look. Let me show you a bad way to do it, and let me show you a good way to do it. Alright, check this out. So here is our good version. I am. Thank you, Ed Castanetto. This is my lecture for the day. So here's what you do. I can't stop. If I stop, it ruins it. I just lose like 20 minutes of work. So I'm going to keep going. Sorry, Cass. All right, here we go. If you align it to the right, or you come up here. Wait, no, that's not it. You can come up here and you can align it to the left, the center, or the right. Okay, and I'm going to show you something you should not do. I'm going to click on this thing right here. It's the show hide, and one thing people do a lot of times is what I don't want you to do is a lot of people will just hit space, 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 and move things over. Okay, and normally these things don't show. Normally, if you turn these off, it doesn't show. It looks just fine. Okay, the problem is let's say you leave this like this, and then you come back later. It's like, oh, I want to increase the font size to 62, and you click off. Oh, that didn't do anything bad. Let's try. Oh, I didn't do it. 62, enter. Okay, well look what it did. It pushed it down to the next line, which is not what you wanted, and that's because you formatted it improperly. It's not a good idea to use the space bar to align things. So if you want to align stuff, just use what you're supposed to. You're supposed to use the align to the right, and notice it does not push it down to the next line. Okay, so so I want you guys to align things to. Some things are going to be aligned to the left, some things are going to be aligned to the right, and then certain things like this are going to be aligned to the center. Okay. Alright, so why is it better to align text the right way rather than to add a bunch of spaces? I answered that question. Alright, we're going to add some emphasis. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to add emphasis, such as we're going to select something and we're going to make it bold. Okay, you're going to select something and make it italicized, and you can select something and make it underlined. Alright, and so that adds emphasis to things that are important. Alright, so you're going to go ahead and do that. And by the way, why should you not overuse emphasis? Well, if you make everything emphasized, then what's emphasized? Nothing. So you want to use it, make things attractive, but you don't want to overuse it, because if everything's underlined, then nothing really stands out. Okay. All right. Images include clip art and align it in a particular way. All right. Let's take a look. So you can see here. I'm gonna just add a new picture. So I'm gonna go insert picture from clip art. We're gonna just add some random thing, just to show you how to do it. I'm going to add a rope apparently. So we find the rope and we double click on it and it's entered in there. Now when it first is in here, it treats it like text. So you can align it to the center, you can align it to the right, or back over here. So when you first enter it, it goes like text. The problem is if you just try to grab it and move it, it won't let you. Okay, so for now we're going to do it this way. We're going to just add it and we're going to align it like text. Okay. The other way that we can do it is we can double click on it. We can go to layout, we can go to tight and click OK, and then we can move it wherever we want. Okay. So the advantage of this is we can stick exactly where we want. The disadvantage is it doesn't stay in with the text. So like if I start moving text around, the image doesn't go with it as well as if we just left it in the paragraph. Okay. All right. So answer this question. What are the advantages of each method? Okay. Answer these questions. All right. And bullet points. So we're going to add some bullet points. So I'm going to undo all these ugly changes I've just done. Undo, undo, undo. Alright, so you can see from this thing, let's close all this stuff. You can see from this thing, let's make it bigger so you can see it, that I've added bullet points. Let's turn off the non-printed characters. And so the bullet points are a good way to say, hey, here's some information that you need, and list it. The way you add a bullet point is you select the text and you come up here and you say, I would like a bullet point, and add the bullet points. Okay. Before you do though, make sure your text is short and concise. So you don't want a ton of text. You want to narrow it down, just like we did in PowerPoint. We're not following exactly the 7x7 rule for Microsoft Word, but it's a good idea of make it shorter, as short as you can, and as concise so that people aren't overwhelmed by the amount of text. Okay, why is a short and concise using bullet points better? Because you separate each individual idea and you don't overwhelm people with too much text. And finishing up, go ahead and finish your flyer, make it very attractive, and here's some extra credit opportunities.